All right, members of the culture. I'm Ra. You are here. Welcome in, everybody. The purpose of today's video is to celebrate my 1 year here on YouTube. I can't believe it either. Time really flies. So, with your permission, I'd like to take a trip down memory lane to talk about who the great Ra is, what this channel is all about, and the greater meaning behind all of this in relations to the culture. So, with that understanding, let's do this. First off, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Ra, and this is the Great Ra Forever. This channel is about the culture, collecting, storytelling, and sharing in the things that make us excited as collectors. And even if you're not a collector, it's about the passion, the stories behind the things that people love. Because you see, collecting isn't just about the items, it's about the stories. It's about the passion. It's about the memories. It's about the hunt and how all those things come together to explain to people why we keep certain things forever. Let's do this. Exactly 1 year ago, I pressed the upload button on the very first video on this channel. And to be honest with you, I had no idea what was going to happen. I didn't have a dedicated audience. I didn't have a following. I had no grand master plan. All I had was a camera, some things I love, and a story that I wanted to, or more importantly, needed to tell. Fast forward 1 year later, and a whole lot has changed. But it isn't just about the videos. No, believe me, it's about the journey. It was all a dream until it wasn't. 1 year ago, when I started this channel, I I really had no idea, to be real with you. I didn't know anything about algorithms. Uh, I didn't know anything about editing. Hell, half the time I didn't even know if the lighting was good. And as you can see, that's still a work in progress. And man, don't get me started on that first video. Yeah, I mean, but you got to start somewhere. Every journey starts with the first step, right? And I'll tell you something. I've learned a lot so far. I'm still learning every day. I mean, I took a chance doing this. It's as important as YouTube is. For me, it was therapeutic. I had reasons I needed to start the channel. I was going through things in my life that were difficult. And rather than write down on just a journal, I decided I'd put it in video form. I'd use YouTube for therapeutic reasons because I was determined to help somebody. Maybe somebody felt the same way I did. They had something they loved, they dug into it, and wanted to let the world know, hey, this helped me. Maybe it can help you. I mean, it wasn't easy because you're opening yourself up to the world when you go on the internet, right? The internet's undefeated. We all hear that. There were so many times where I doubted myself, where I wasn't sure. Really? Go ahead and jump out there. Strangers saying anything? Whether you succeed, will you fail? Who knew? I just knew I had to do something because I've always lived by the credo that if good men do nothing, that is evil enough. I had to do something. So I jumped into YouTube, started making videos, and to say it was a process is a little bit of an understatement. The struggle is real. We've all got stories we can share about how life be life and sometimes, right? I was no different than anybody else. I was out here. I had been a collector, oh, I don't know, a totality, if I'm being real. I've been a collector for well over 30 years. But at this time, I had been collecting not that long. And I got into a long-term relationship. And to make a long story short, in putting so much into that relationship, I became someone else. I lost who I was, and I lost a part of myself. I'm not ashamed to admit it. It's the truth. This behind me was who I was. But when I ended the relationship, I forgot all about that. And sometimes, to be transparent with you, if you're trying to open too many doors, you can get lost real easy, real quick, right? So, in doing that, the relationship, I started to figure that there was a part of me that was just not there. I I could never really put my finger on it, but it was always something that was just missing, like just beneath the surface, like an itch you couldn't scratch just under your skin, right? So the relationship ended, and after the relationship ended, I came out of it a broken man, and more importantly, well, for better or worse, a lost man, trying to reclaim and recover who I was prior to the relationship. Here I sit years later, and I'm so grateful because it was collecting that saved my life. And that's why I say the struggle is real, because it was. This this guy that sits before you now is still a work in progress. These things behind me bring me peace. They're a part of my life that I stepped out on. And to be honest with you, I would never make that mistake again. You've got to in life be who you are. Everybody else is taken. So you have to be yourself. That's a lesson you would have thought I'd learned long before I was an adult. But yet here I was, well into adulthood, and just learning that lesson. I promise you, if I can help somebody else learn that lesson now, because it only gets more painful as time goes on. You know, I can't really tell you. It's so surreal to be sitting here before you right now, a collector. And what does that really mean? A collector. It means everything, man. It means peace, joy, comfort in who you are, and a community of not just content creators, but fellow collectors. And when you meet the right collectors, they can support you. They become family, they become your tribe. And I promise you, that right there is a certain kinship. It's a brotherhood among people of all races, creeds, colors, ages. And it doesn't matter because collectors are family. So you see, I exited the hobby in 2017, I believe. I came back to the hobby in 2021. Doesn't sound like much, but believe me, that was a very painful 4 years for more than just one reason. There were many factors going into that. You win some and you lose some. I fight so hard for my hobby. I promise you I do. And I'm sure all collectors have felt my pain on this particular topic. We've all seen those surveys where they've asked women about the most unattractive male hobbies, and somehow collectors, gamers too, but somehow collectors always end up on this list. And we're high up there, like we're criminals or something. When you see the things that are ranked ahead of us in terms of least attractive male hobbies, it will blow your mind. I won't bore you with it. Go check it out for yourself, and you'll realize that our hobby has to be defended, which is crazy to me that we got to defend something we love doing that's not hurting anybody else. This hobby is judged differently than others, and I've always wondered why we're persecuted so fiercely. It may be something that I'll never know. Maybe I'm not meant to know. All I know is that I love this hobby. It saved my life. It's allowed me to meet some amazing people, people that I would have never met otherwise on my journey in life. I've met some amazing content creators that I dare call friends right now. Without collecting, I wouldn't sit here before you with those friends. And hell, I might not be sitting here in front of you at all if you want to know the truth. So at some point, I lost some things along the way, but I gained way more than I lost. This hobby, and I'm not just talking about the physical things that you see behind me, not just these mounds and mounds of plastic and figures and pops and all of that. I have gained so much from this hobby that I could never give back. I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm so grateful to be a collector. And I'm sure somebody out there feels the same exact way that I do, like a phoenix from the ashes. Despite all the trials and tribulations that I've been through in my personal life, I feel that I'm a better person now than I ever have been. My goal's always been to be a better person today than I was yesterday, and an even better person tomorrow. I'm a relentlessly positive person that charges our head forth, always in the challenges, for better or for worse, but always with the right mindset. That's just the way I've always lived my life. It's worked out for me. Hopefully, it works for you or someone you know, but I couldn't see life any other way than the way that I'm doing things right now. Collecting is a part of me. I embrace it. I accept it. At one time, as I said previously, I walked out on it, but I could never do that again because collecting isn't a phase. Collecting wasn't just something I was doing. Collecting was, is, and will always be me. It's who Ra is. It means everything. Going on hunts, talking to other collectors, eventually going to conventions. My good brother, Clever's Multiverse, you should check out his channel, by the way, was telling me how awesome ZoloCon was, and I've seen his videos, Laser Pants' videos from 3POA. I've seen a lot of collectors, man. My great friend, Articulated Ninja. These are amazing men, great people that actually are doing wonderful things that don't get talked about nearly enough because you just think we're people that collect toys, when in actuality, we're some damn good human beings that are doing some amazing things. If you just give us a chance, collectors are special people, right? So I've enjoyed my rise from the ashes, and collecting has so much to do with it. I couldn't have risen from the ashes without collecting. We're intertwined. So when I say it's a part of me, it's a part of me. It's not like a shirt I put on, it's an actual skin. I could never be anybody else. That's how I got in trouble the first time. I was trying to be somebody else. I decided to comfortably be Ra, and the day I decided to comfortably be Ra and return to collecting and accept who I am, my life got so much better. And I'm so grateful. I say it and I mean it. You guys have no idea the joy that collecting brings to my heart and the blessings that it provides for myself, my family, and those around me. Those are things that are priceless. I couldn't put a dollar sign on them. I know you're probably saying, how much is this collection worth? It's not about that. Collecting has given me way more than you could put any dollar amount on ever in life. Some things money really and truly just can't buy. But why do you persist? But back to the topic at hand. This past year hasn't been all smooth sailing because there were a lot of moments where I asked myself, is this really worth it? Is anyone really watching this? Is this really worth my time? Because if you're a collector and if you're a creator, you already know you spend hours recording, hours editing, hours just thinking about ideas. You pour your heart and soul into it, and it nets you 20 views. But here's the thing about this journey, it teaches you patience. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I mean, it's not all struggles. There's been some amazing moments, you know. Um, the very first subscriber I got that wasn't a friend or family, the first time somebody commented on my video, the first time someone said they really enjoyed the content and that it made a difference in their life in some way, shape, form, or fashion. That's huge. I mean, it may not be huge to a big channel, but to someone just starting out that sometimes has questions on whether or not I should be doing this, that means everything to me, man. So, what have we learned? Well, in 1 year of running this channel, I've learned a few things. I've learned that one, consistency matters. Two, you don't have to be perfect, right? This perfection that people chase after and seek, it's really not as much. It's not easy because there really is no such thing as that. But it doesn't matter as much as people think. The most important thing I learned is to just be yourself, right? You've heard me say that before, and I'm saying it again. The most important thing, not just on YouTube land, but in life, is to be yourself. Authenticity and your credibility matters because people don't just subscribe to channels for content, they subscribe to people, the people behind the camera, right? It doesn't matter how great your content is. If you're not a good, authentic, credible person, your channel doesn't mean anything. Or at least so that's just how I see it. Please and thank you. Outside of being yourself, the next most important thing I can tell you that I've learned is to say thank you. And what do I mean by that? Thank you for taking the time right now to watch this video. If you've ever watched any video on my channel, if you've ever left a comment, if you've ever shared, if you've ever subscribed, if you've ever interacted with me in any way, shape, form, or fashion via this channel, thank you. Because without you, there is no channel, there is no culture. Thank you for taking your time today while I go through this journey and explain to you why I do what I do. That's my journey for year one. And now I'm looking forward to year two. And the most important part of year two is you. Thank y'all so much for coming along with me on this ride. Hopefully, you'll continue to stay in the car because we ain't got to the destination yet. We're still on the journey. My goal is to make this journey as enjoyable as I possibly can for each and every one of you that blesses me with your presence. And I'll do my very best to make sure that you stay collecting, that you stay tuned, and above all, that you stay great. God bless.